You have half of the countries are in all of the groups together. Look at Saudi Arabia. They've joined the BRICS, the Belt Road, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and the New Development Bank. Look at China and Russia. They're, the Eurasian Economic Union for Russia, the BRICS, the Belt Road. All of these countries are all tangled up together. Well, guess what is happening now, according to many people? The plans are to consolidate the BRICS, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, along with the Eurasian Economic Union. You're talking a super group encapsulating north of 85% of human population. GDP and military might way bigger than ours.
On May 17, 2023, Russia briefing revealed that the leaders of the BRICS nations will meet with policymakers from the Eurasian Economic Union, which includes Russia, Armenia, Belarus, Kazakhstan, and Kyrgyzstan. The main purpose of this meeting is to discuss the possibility of integrating with the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Andy Schectman, CEO of Miles Franklin, highlighted that this new organization would represent more than 85% of the world's population and have significant economic and military power, surpassing that of some other nations. The leaders of the BRICS nations will meet at the 15th Brics Summit in South Africa from August 22 to 24, 2023. The summit will take place at the Sandton Convention Centre in Johannesburg, Gauteng. During the summit, the BRICS leaders will have discussions with businesses at the BRICS Business Forum. They will also interact with the New Development Bank, BRICS Business Council, and other mechanisms. South Africa will use the opportunity to reach out to leaders from Africa and other countries in the Global South. They will hold a BRICS outreach and BRICS Plus dialogue during the summit to engage with these leaders and foster cooperation and partnerships. SCO members include Russia, China, and India, along with Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan. Andy stated that the BRICS meeting could be a major turning point in global geopolitics. If all the SCO members and their partners attend, it would create a powerful union with significant economic and military power. Before diving into Andy Schectman's interview, don't forget to show your support by giving this video a big thumbs up and subscribing to our channel.
And when you talk about pushback, well, let me push back a little bit here too. And if this happens, if indeed these groups do unite August 22nd, and I believe they will, because it's important to mention the entire membership of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, including its dialogue partners, its associate members, will be attending the BRICS meeting in August 22nd through the 24th. And the rumor is they are all going to consolidate into one union, and it makes a tremendous amount of sense. When you put all of these countries together, all of them together, you have an incredibly formidable force. You have two of the three largest nuclear arsenals in the world. You got north of 15 to 20% of all the proven gold reserves that are being held above ground, let alone the biggest accumulators and producers of it amongst many of the other commodities, including rare earth metals that are needed for a green agenda, are all made over there. And when you look online right now and Google how many countries have joined BRICS, you keep seeing 41, 41, 41, 41. Count them. What do you get? 25. Well, let's just think about this for a second. Where could those other 16 countries be coming from? Well, let's see what the Shanghai Cooperation Organization has to say about that. China, they're already part of it. India, they're already part of it. You got Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan and Pakistan. Well, Russia's part of it. Pakistan, I can never pronounce it. Uzbekistan, Afghanistan, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Bahrain, Belarus. One of those has already applied to BRICS. Cambodia, Kuwait, Maldives, Mongolia, Myanmar, Nepal. Saudi Arabia is already in it. Sri Lanka is not in it. That would be 16 or 17. Turkey, Turkmenistan, and Qatar. So somewhere, some of those countries have already applied. Well, that's the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, including its dialogue partners. And then you got the Eurasian Economic Union, which are a lot of the countries I just mentioned. The point of it is they're going to combine. You're talking the majority of human population. And so when you talk about legitimacy, when you talk about the fact that no one's going to trust Russia and China, well, I push back a whole hell of a lot and say we have squandered the good graces of our foreign creditors. We have squandered the reason that many people come to this country, and that is equal application of the law. And I think that is the most frightening thing of everything that we are seeing right now. Just the way that the powers that be, if you're not on the right side if you're not on the right team, well, you're in trouble. When you talk about the BRICS, do not think that our foes do not see the complete and total amount of dysfunction that we have created inside our country, let alone the weaponizing of the dollar, the sanctioning of countries' monies, the confiscating of the money, and all of the craziness that we're doing, including depleting our military arsenal here for stuff over there that we shouldn't be part of. I don't mean to get all crazy, but I just want people to understand this is real. This has never been so real. And if Jim is right, and he probably is, and even if he's not, you can see that this is happening and it's accelerating and it is coming. And if you are not a contrarian, as Rick Rule says, you're going to be a victim. That I do believe. And only time is going to tell how this plays out, Dunnigan. But in my soul, in my heart, I know that I've been right all along. I do. The one thing that I would never do that Jim did is pick a specific date. And we're going to see. I'm going to be sitting with bated breath for August 22nd, because if he nailed it, well, God bless him and more power to him. But even if he didn't get the date right, even if it's January 1st or next August 22nd, you can see the wheels are in motion. And I don't think there's a lot at this point that can stop this trend in motion from reaching its full potential.
The tensions between Russia, China, and the United States are increasing. The BRICS countries are planning to challenge the dominance of the US dollar by introducing a currency backed by gold. This decision could have significant effects on global financial markets and the balance of power among countries. As more countries express interest in joining the BRICS group, Western powers may face a strong challenge and traditional power structures might change. The rise of BRICS and their currency initiative indicates a trend toward multipolarity where the dominance of a single currency is questioned. Leslie Masdorp, vice president of the BRICS New Development Bank, mentioned that it will take a significant amount of time for any changes in currency movements to happen. So, discussions about alternate currencies are considered more of a long-term plan and not something that will happen quickly. He believes that the integration of gold and blockchain technology will have a major impact on the global financial landscape. Let's watch Andy Schectman's interview with Liberty and Finance.
What I'm getting at is things are changing, not just out there with the BRICS, and those are changing too. But it's very important when some of the guests push back and they say, well, who's going to trust China? Who the hell trusts the U.S. anymore? And that is exactly what distributed ledger technology or blockchain and gold will represent if done properly. And so I think it's very important, first and foremost, to focus there. Now let's talk about your comment about the number of countries joining the BRICS endeavor. Yes, I have gone out on a limb for 3 years and 1,300 videos and said there is going to be a gold-backed BRICS currency because they reclassified the dollar or gold as the only other tier 1 reserve asset. And is there any coincidence that all the central banks leading up to that event and after that event repatriated all their gold and have gone on a huge buying spree? No, there's not a coincidence. Is there a coincidence that the others, the most sophisticated private investors, are draining the exchanges? No, it's not a coincidence. Any more so than the central banks, the most sophisticated, well-informed investors in the world, literally buying more gold over the last 18 months than at any time in history. Why? Because gold's a tier 1. Why? Because evidently, according to Jim Rickards, he has the courage to put a date on it. That's one thing I have never had. I said it's inevitable. The clues are pointing to this direction. If you don't see it, you're not paying attention. They're going to use gold and blockchain to legitimize, to give credibility and honesty to a system that is broke, corrupt, and dishonest as hell. And you know what? They're going to do it, and it's going to make a big dent. Now, where the rubber meets the road is Jim has the courage or the insight or the foresight to note that on August 22nd, when the BRICS countries meet, that they will issue a new gold-backed currency. I believe it. One piece he hasn't talked about, but I've read elsewhere, and I kind of had to do the math, is the concept of a growing union. Now, I want to also pat myself on the back and say, how many times on your show have I mentioned the following? You have the BRICS, okay, but you got the Belt Road Initiative, 150 countries, every OPEC country. I've said that 1,000 times on your show. How about the Shanghai Cooperation Organization? I've said that 1,000 times. The largest regional financial military organization in the world. 60% of the Eurasian landmass, 40% of global GDP.
The BRICS countries are not going to create a new currency together, but they will try to use their own currencies more in trade instead of the US dollar. They are all big economies, and they have been talking about creating a new currency together for a while. However, the South African diplomat said that there is no plan to do this right now. Instead, the BRICS countries are going to focus on using their own currencies more in trade. What do you think the implications of the BRICS countries' plans to challenge the dominance of the US dollar are? That's all from us. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe our channel and click the bell icon to be notified of future videos.